always told me I was peaking too early. Your lack of buddies is a little concerning. You heard the rumors, now I'm hearing confirming. I made a friend in my 30s.
Welcome to Jam Mechanics, ladies, gents, friends betwixt and beyond the gender binary. Welcome to a very, very special episode of Jam Mechanics, where we are, for the first time, recording in person.
We're in the same room. It's me, Bug from Bug Hunter, and
Matt Johnson from the Narcissist Cookbook. We are 3 meters apart.
it is very weird.
But for the first time, I can throw something at Bug. Yeah, we're in Omega Town in
Omega Town, otherwise known as Ogden, Utah.
We're in Ogden, Utah. Gorgeous, amazing. We pulled in last night, and we are almost at the end of the first leg of our tour. We've played Portland, Sacramento, Hollywood, San Diego, Phoenix, Albuquerque, and Denver. And tonight we do.
I can't believe you did that from memory, Matt.
Yeah, I did. Don't watch the video. Tonight we're doing Salt Lake City. Yeah.
And then we have Boise and Seattle to go. But yeah, we have traditionally recorded this podcast in the international waters known as Jam Cabin. And now we're actually in a cabin-esque room where we are going to make some jams.
The downside to this is the microphones that we are using are not the studio quality mics we're used to. So if this sounds like we have a special like warm-up we've been doing to check the plosives, or it's just like PapaBug.
PapaBug. So you're welcome.
That sounds okay.
You're welcome for that audio early in the morning. Yeah. Jam Mechanics is a podcast. Here's what we do on this podcast. Matt and I are both songwriters. What we're going to do here today is we're going to be challenged to write songs. Every episode in season 2, we've been getting a jam consultant to come in, give us a prompt, allow us to go away for a couple hours and write a demo based on that prompt. So right now we have nothing. We have no ideas. We have no chord progressions.
I haven't even unpacked my guitar.
But before we do that, we got to get to know each other.
We got to get to know each other. Now, unlike how this usually goes, we've actually been getting to know each other really well over the past 2 weeks. We've been on tour since June 2nd. It is currently June 13th.
Matt, I got a question for you.
Hit me.
What's been your favorite Nintendo Switch game to play on this tour?
I brought my Nintendo Switch over. Before I left, I bought so many games. I was like, I'm going to be playing all of these indie classics. I'm going to be diving in to games you've never heard of. And then all I've done with my Switch, all we've done this entire tour is play Speedrunners.
Speedrunners is, this podcast brought to you by Speedrunners.
Yeah.
Speedrunners is the funnest possible game that you can play in a van touring down the road. We have genuinely been playing this game as we've like pulled up to venues, and my dad has been like, okay, we're 3 minutes late. We need to unload. And
we're like, we can't pause this game.
We can't pause the game. Yeah, it's been quite a bit of fun.
Anyway,
wait.
Jam Mechanics in person.
I have another question.
Okay, Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig from Bug Hunter. Have you had any like fan interactions on this tour that were notable, memorable to you?
Yeah. I don't know what one you're thinking of.
I just have one of my own that I want to tell, so
okay,
I thought
right,
I'd pitch it to you first.
No, so Fallen from the Discord came, and I owed Fallen a tie-dye Narcissist Cookbook shirt. So I was like, hey, you're going to be at Denver? I'll just bring it to the Denver show. And then, so I gave them that shirt, and then they bought every shirt at the merch table, so they had 4 shirts, and by the time you listen to this, you might be able to prepare for the East Coast and Midwest tour, but I have a secret merch item. If you have a Narcissist Cookbook tattoo and you come to a show, I will give you a free other shirt that is not available anywhere else. You can only get it if you have a tattoo, or if you are Fallen, who is currently holding 4 shirts, and the funniest possible thing that could happen is I give them a 5th shirt. So yeah, that was really fun.
My favorite fan interaction that I've had on this tour also happened in Denver. There was this 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to tell this story on stage the rest of this tour, but I'll tell it here as well. So this 11-year-old girl, and she'd come to a show before. She's a huge fan, and she's such a character. She comes to the show last year. She comes to the show in Denver this year. She immediately runs up and is like, do you remember me? And I was like, yes, I absolutely do remember you. But then after the show, she was standing there with her dad, and her dad was talking to you. And so I was just talking to her while you guys were chatting. And I was like, it must be so past your bedtime right now. Like, it's like 10:30. I was like, this is definitely way past your bedtime. She's like, oh, no. I stay up till 11 most nights. And I was like, what are you doing staying up till 11 o'clock? And she's like, pondering my thoughts. And
Did you say how old she was, by the way?
She was 11 years old.
Yeah, she's a wee babby.
Yeah. I was like, what are you thinking about? And she had remembered that last year I had said something about how Sweet Nothin' is my most misinterpreted song, that people never get it right. And so she had remembered that, and she was like, I mostly think about what Sweet Nothin' is about. And I was like, okay, well, since you've come back a year later, I'll tell you. Sweet Nothin' is about like being okay, being on your own, and not needing anyone else in your life to be happy. And she thinks for a second, and she goes, if my dad died, I would kill myself. And that
so sharp.
Just my favorite person that I've met on this tour. Sorry to everybody else. You'd have to do quite a bit to top that.
Let me see if I've got another question for you, Bug, before we kick things off. How do you make a show worth 45 cents?
I don't know, Matt. How do you make a show worth 45 cents?
You book 50 Cent and Nickelback. I've got a follow-up one. Mm-hmm. How do you make a podcast great?
How do you make a podcast great, Matt?
You get PapaBug in.
You get PapaBug in. Let's get our guest commentator here, our jam consultant, into the studio. PapaBug is here with us, still in pajamas. Love that. Here's the thing about PapaBug. I think episode 1, I put up a little poll on our Spotify saying like, hey, we're going to have guests on for season 2 to give us prompts. Who would you want to see give us prompts? And I was expecting like small celebrities, or like, people saying, oh, get the McElroy brothers on there, get, the Drawfee people on there. 95% of the responses were, you got to get PapaBug on there.
You gotta.
So welcome to Jam Mechanics, PapaBug.
Well, I'm glad to be here, you mechanics of jams.
Thank you very much. You're the face of the operation.
You have a lot of responsibilities on the road, one of which is driving. So PapaBug, we have a question for you. How many ditches have you driven into on this particular tour?
Exactly one ditch.
You only need to drive into one.
It was a significant ditch.
It was a good ditch.
I drove into it once, and I think I fell into it 3 times.
It was a process.
Yes.
This was in New Mexico, where we entered New Mexico right as everyone's phones went boo boo boo, flood warning, and then there wasn't enough rain to make that happen, but there was enough rain to create mud on the way to our Airbnb.
It was like 1:30 in the morning, rural road in the mountains of New Mexico, and we missed the turn for our Airbnb, turning around in a driveway, and just clipped that mud a little bit too much. And somebody on Facebook, when we posted the video of us getting winched out by a tow truck at 9 in the morning the next morning, said, congratulations on getting stuck in the mud in a state where there's only 10 inches of rain annually.
Yeah. No, but that rain was like cake. It was like stepping out of the truck into like cookie batter.
Cake batter. That's a good description. I don't think I've ever in my life taken a shower completely with my clothes on, only to get the mud off.
Yeah.
I had to get the mud off.
And this is actually a great follow-up to, I think, when Jesse Galloway was on. Jesse Galloway is in the room right now working on stuff, but when Jesse was on a couple weeks ago, we told a story about PapaBug, and so we actually get to follow up on that story. When you were cleaning out the van the next morning, what did you use to kind of get a lot of the mud off of the seats?
I can't believe you're asking me this question. Well, I used the tool that I had available, which was my pizza knife.
So anybody listening to episode 3 knows that this is the knife that PapaBug suggested we cut our deep dish Chicago style pizza with, and fully used it to scrape all the mud off of the car. And then what did you do with it afterwards? Did you wash it, or did you just
lick it clean?
I didn't take it in the shower with me, but I did just wipe it down. But so I have a follow-up question on that for you guys.
Okay. Oh yeah, we've never been asked a question by our guests before.
How did you like those sliced up donuts that I gave you this morning?
They tasted earthy. It felt like they were full of like healthy minerals.
This is why you always have to keep an eye on PapaBug.
While the main quest of the truck getting stuck in the ditch was happening, me and Jesse were on a side quest because we had gone down this road looking for an Airbnb in extremely rural New Mexico, and it was so dark. We were like, did we even come down the right road? And now the truck is stuck, and it was like, we need to go and look for this Airbnb. So me and Jesse take your extremely powerful torch, and we're just like, let's go and venture off into the perfect darkness, I guess. And we're like, we'll see you soon. And literally Airbnb was 12 and a half seconds away. It was like the first turn we come to, it's like a sign that goes Airbnb, and we're like, yeah.
But from our perspective, we just watched you walk off into the night with a flashlight, and then all of a sudden the flashlight just disappeared.
And come back. Yeah.
I really hope they're. It's raining. It's dark. We're stuck in the mud, and then 10 minutes later, only Jesse wanders back with the flashlight.
Yeah, I'm on the sofa watching Doctor Who episode Rogue at that point.
And I was like, well, we got one of them back at least. Amazing. All right, this is a question that we ask everybody who comes on the podcast. Dad, what's your jam? What's a song or artist you've been listening to lately that you want to just kind of like plug and let our listeners know about?
What are these guys called? I wrote it down.
Wolves of Glendale.
Wolves of Glendale.
Yeah.
With that Jim song, and I thought I was going to run off the road listening to that song.
That song's a great song.
So now I'm kind of hooked into them. So I'm definitely going to say the Wolves of Glendale
cool.
is my comedy thing. So
getting the double shout out on Jam Mechanics, because that was Jesse's as well. Was Olivia by Wolves of Glendale.
Yeah.
It sounds like we need to get Wolves of Glendale on this podcast.
I think
Wolves of Glendale.
that
All
would be-
three of
that
Wolves
would
of
be
Glendale.
amazing.
them for sure.
Well, here's the other thing about music on my Spotify. So on my Spotify playlist, I have 3 favorite artists, as you probably will be shocked by. It's Bug Hunter, the Narcissist Cookbook, and Galloway.
Oh, yeah.
And Galloway.
So you could not be more on brand.
And the funniest thing is, Galloway is actually my number one Spotify. Number one on Spotify.
Jesse's over there like, look at me, I'm the sun now.
Yeah, I'm the son now.
You were bopping to an unreleased Galloway song this morning on the couch.
Jesse gave us a demo, and I had the headphones on, and I was bopping and bopping, and it kind of gave me that old, like, George Benson vibe.
If you want a little teaser for this Jesse Galloway bop, it goes like
Yeah, it's slapping the bass, no doubt.
so full slap. The bass does not stop slapping from minute 0 to minute 4. Like
It's really, really good, y'all.
it's great.
Anyway, so that's kind of the
Amazing.
for me.
Very cool. We'll get those added to our Friends of Jam Mechanics playlist, which definitely
Exists.
exists.
It definitely exists.
You need to go looking for it, okay? Like this is a full ARG.
Amazing. All right. Are we ready to do this?
Are you ready to do this?
Ready. Okay, so here's how this format works. Our jam consultant comes in and gives us 2 prompts. The reason we do 2 prompts is just to give Matt and I a little wiggle room to kind of discuss, debate, figure out which one we want to do. We are both going to use the same prompt. This is not Matt chooses one, I choose one. We are both going to hear the 2 prompts and then decide together which one prompt we want to bounce off of. And so, PapaBug, if you want to hit us with that prompt 1.
Okay, so prompt 1. Matt observed me playing a first-person shooter game.
Yeah.
And he's told the story on stage now twice.
Yeah.
That has just busted me up completely. And so in homage to that, I have picked a phrase from that first shooter game.
Okay.
That is my prompt.
Okay.
The prompt is, and do with it what you will,
I'm gonna write this down.
headshot.
Headshot. Excellent. Okay.
Headshot.
Headshot.
Monster kill. Headshot. Okay, fantastic.
All right, I'm thinking about it. All right. Okay. Hey, PapaBug, can you hit us with that second prompt?
Yeah, so my second prompt is, again, tour focused because of what we do consistently on tour. Every time we get done with a venue or a meal or come through a town that we like, we typically go through this ranking process where we say, who's your favorite whatever? So my prompt to you on this one is rank it.
Okay.
Rank it.
Rank it.
Rank it.
Rank it.
I was going to say get ranked.
Get ranked.
Rank is a word. You guys
Yeah.
play with it however you want.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you know
So those are my 2.
You are driving up my alley right now. I love making lists. So I'm gonna probably fist fight you for this one, Matt, because we are in the same room now, and it could come down to a brawl. I'm all on board with Rank It.
Yeah, so I think Headshot is a better title for a song, but I think I am equally clueless about both of these. And if you have strong feelings about Rank It, I'll go with Rank It.
I don't have an idea. I just love making lists. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. I mean, I think we have pulled you into our list-based world because that's what we do after every show. PapaBug is right. We will be like, okay, how does that show rank against all the other shows we've done on this tour? And we'll make little lists on our notes, and we'll rank all of the food that we've eaten. And I don't think you would probably do that on your own accord.
I think over time, though, we're kind of rubbing off on you on this, Matt. We first started going on tour. The very so sorry. It's close in the van. But when we first started touring, I think you were amazed at just how introspective we were after every show. I could kind of sense it from you. And now you're like, hey, PapaBug, what's your favorite show?
Well, it's just because specifically listening to you rank things brings me a lot of joy. It is kind of like coming out of what I liken it to when I try and explain it to people is it's like coming out of the the most recent MCU movie and just having a 10-year-old kid being like, okay, right, so Captain America Winter Soldier was a little bit better, but this bit had this bit, and I'm like, this is so my jam.
Amazing. Okay, so I think we're set on Get Ranked.
Get ranked, bozos. All right, we're going to be back in probably 3 hours. If when we come back on footage, it's dark outside, even though it's noon right now, don't think about it. We have a show to go to in 2.5 hours is our point. So we don't know how we're going to approach this. Yeah,
our continuity on this episode might be a little weird, but we definitely wanted to do a live episode. And so we at least got the first half done. And if the second half of this episode has us back on Zoom in Scotland and Virginia, just know that we tried our best.
PapaBug, do you want to sign us off for this section?
Do I have to sing a song to sign us
off? You can do whatever you want.
Oh, I have a great idea. You are famous for the dad jokes on stage. Do you want to tell us a dad joke to get us into the break?
All right, here's a dad joke. Early dad joke. Why do ducks have tail feathers?
Why?
To cover up their butt quacks.
Boom! Friend in my 30s.
And we are back from the break with the most packed 3 hours either of us have ever had in our lives.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since we recorded the first half of this episode.
We played several shows. We traveled across the country, across the world.
I miss Utah so much.
R.I.P. Utah. But yeah, so we, as you could probably tell, did not finish that episode that day that we were talking with my dad in Utah. We got a little busy and did the rest of our tour. But we made a promise to each other to not work on the songs more than 3 hours. I was actually, I don't know about you, Matt, but I was pretty good about not thinking about this whatsoever in the 3 weeks that it's been since we recorded the first half of the episode. What about you?
I really love phrasing that as being I was on top of my game about not thinking about this thing I had to do.
It was active.
So 3 days ago, I started a stopwatch on my phone because I had an idea for a lyric and I was like, oh shit, here we go. And I just hit stop whenever I stopped thinking about it and hit start. And then today I hit stop on 2 hours, 58 minutes, 32.76 seconds.
Amazing. Do you have any last minute, 2 minutes to spend just cleaning anything up, or are you just going to let that time go?
No, there's a lot of cleaning I would want to do. Nothing that could have been done in 2 minutes. So,
yeah, I will say wouldn't plan on doing this format ever again because there is something about getting off the call and just immediately being like, I have to do this right now. Even this week, I was like, great, we're going to meet on Friday. We're going to do this. I have all week. I'll probably do it Monday. I'm going to do it Monday. But you know what?
You told me so confidently that you were going to have it done at the beginning of the week that I just assumed that it had been done.
We said we were going to meet at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, and I bounced my final copy of this at 2:03 p.m. So I did not. I waited till past the last minute.
I knew that we were going for spicy territory when I sent you a message at 6:52 saying I'm good to go whenever, and you said 8 minutes. So I'm feeling okay about the song. Like I didn't feel good about it up until the very end, and then it's very. I said this about a track in the last season, which was Fresh Cement. I was like, this is a very early 2000s sort of the Fray style thing. This is just a dashboard confessional song.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. You get to try a bunch of different styles and different techniques, and that's the fun of it. I cheated on this one.
What?
Here's the good news. Here's the great news for everybody. I kind of wrote 2 songs, and the second song that I wrote will end up probably I'll do something with it because I liked it. But I had 2 ideas, and I spent probably 2 hours on the first idea, and then I was like, you know what? I think this idea is too good to just give it another hour and then throw it in Jam Mechanics. I was like,
that's never stopped you before.
I know. I needed to stick the landing on this, and I wasn't ready to show it off in a non-stuck landing version. So I pivoted to a completely different song. So I definitely spent more than 3 hours total. I only spent 3 hours on this song, so if that counts for anything. But if this had been the traditional go away for 3 hours, come back and show off what we have, I wouldn't have had like the time or ability to pivot like I did. So
do we have 2 demos? Because I'm looking at a title here that says first and second demo.
That is the song is called First and Second.
Oh, right.
Yes,
okay.
Just a coincidence. The song is called First and Second. So I guess we're going to do me first.
Let's do it.
Well, here's what I can say about this.
Oh, actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm remembering when your dad, I can't even remember what the other prompt was, but when your dad said ranked, you were like, I want to do that one. So is that because you had an idea? And if so, is this the idea you had? Or did you just know that you would come up with an idea?
No, I don't. I also don't remember what the other prompt was, so I can't. I can't remember my reasoning for it. But
it was very like you were. This was the first one I think where you were like, I want to do ranked, and if you don't want to do ranked, then this might come to blows.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that either.
Maybe I'm wrong.
History will tell. Anyone listening to this will know because it was probably just said about 5 minutes ago. But it's been too long since then. I have no idea.
It was just the fiery, stressful vibes of rural Utah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't have a ton of preface for this one. It's I had a high where I wrote it and I was like, this is great. And then I had a very low when I recorded it. And I was like, oh no, this is like season your beanie bad. And then I was like, let me scrap this. I was trying to do it to a click and try and get all the instruments separate and yada, yada. I was like, you know what? It sounded good when I was just sitting on the floor playing it with my acoustic guitar. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to one take it into the mic. And I'm much, much, much happier with just that feel than I was with the clean version of it. So that's what we have today. Sometimes I do a lot of production. This one's not that. It's one take with a couple of overdubs with a couple of instruments that just made it sound a little nicer.
We're going to hit go in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I wanna tell all my friends about you, to tell my mom, who will tell my dad, to find the best damn parts about this and celebrate the things I have, but I can't. When I was a kid at the dinner table, my parents would make me make a thankful list. The top 3 things about our day,
and I was always just the worst at this.
Some days it was simple, but most days it was difficult. My disposition leaned a bit more pessimist than typical.
It's hard to get excited, like if I found out I like it, I will lose it. Yeah, it's stupid and it's superstitious. So when you ask me the top 3 things I love about this, I still freeze up. I probably look like a well-fed snake as I choke so hard on that softball toss.
Just say hell with it, maybe just embellish it. Your laugh, your eyes, your smile, but I know I'm barely selling it.
It's hard to get excited, if life finds out I like it, I will lose it. Yeah, it's stupid, I wanna tell all my friends about you, to tell my mom who will tell my dad, to find the best damn parts about this and celebrate the things I have, but I can't. Why am I like this? Why can't I admit everything's going well? Why do I hide it? Hide all my joy in this bone-colored shell. So I thought of my top 3, but it's something I just couldn't do. So here's my top 2. I'm telling all my friends about you. I told my mom, who told my dad. Here's the top 2 parts about this love. They're the first and second half. I'm telling all my friends about you. You told your mom I'm not that bad. Here's the top 2 parts about this love. They're the first and second half. And the top 2 parts about this love is the first and second. The first and second.
Woo!
Thank you.
So first of all, right away, I feel dumb. I don't know what this means. I don't know what you mean. The top 2 things about this love, top 2 parts about this love, the first and second half. Is that to do with like my other half?
No, it just means everything.
Oh, right.
There's 2 halves, the first and second half. It's like,
Okay.
if there's only 2 good parts about it, the first and second half. It just means I love everything about this. It's just
I famously don't. The second you say anything, do anything clever, I don't get it. So
cool.
We will be, if you in the audience also didn't get it, or if I'm dumb, tell me. So yeah, no, I like that a lot. I really like the melody. I really love the idea. I completely relate to the, if life finds out I like it, I'll lose it. It's stupid and superstitious. Yeah, I totally understand that. You don't want to shine a light on things because things scatter.
Yeah, that was kind of the gist of it, was just giving up on like the reluctance to like celebrate the things in your life and name the good things and celebrate the good things, and kind of overcoming that. I don't want to jinx it, right? I don't want to jinx it and say, oh, everything's going great, and then you got to go like knock on wood, and because it's all going to fall apart if you get too excited about it. So kind of embracing that a little bit. I think I really love the chorus of this.
I was going to say you did a really good starting with the chorus on this one.
Yes.
It didn't feel like a chorus, and then when it came back, I was really sad. I was like, oh, this is great. This is a great refrain, and then bringing it back a third time. Excellent. Masterful.
I want to give a little credit to my brother-in-law Mitchell, because he's the one who wrote that little the dun dun bow bow, that little guitar riff kind of in between the things, and that's something that we used to jam on a lot. And I was like,
"You have now stolen it."
Yeah, I was like, "Can I use that for a song someday?" And he's like, "Oh, absolutely, go for it." So shout out to my brother-in-law Mitchell for that really cool little guitar riff that I've been noodling on for a very long time, and I was like, I'm gonna find a place for that someday. Yeah, I think right now I'm not super like convinced on everything here, but I think it's got it's linear. It tells a story. I was able to at least lay out kind of the parts 1, 2, and 3. So I got the formula for it down. I think there's a lot that I'd want to change about it. Just kind of the flow of the verses. I like the melody of them, but like I would love to smooth them out. They're listening back to it now. Whatever, 10 minutes after bouncing it, I'm like, you know what? These could be a lot smoother, and I would definitely go over a lot of this with an iron and get some of the clunkiness out.
So is there a secret second song?
There is a secret second song, and I'll do something with it someday, but I was like, I can't get this where I want it in an hour, and it'll spoil the joke if I don't stick the landing. So I'm just going to hold on to it.
The equivalent of someone saying, write a song called Shocking Plot Twist, and you're like, I get one shot at this.
Yes,
and
kind of, yeah.
We hit on some similar themes from very different angles. This is
cool.
My song is also directed at a significant other.
Okay. Cool.
It's a very different vibe. This is a kind of song that I haven't written since. So if you are a Narcissist Cookbook fan, you may not know that there are actually 2 secret Narcissist Cookbook releases on Bandcamp. If you go to the narcissistcookbook.bandcamp.com, there is an EP called Thank You, which is technically the first release, and I would never put it on Spotify because it's a mess, but there's some good stuff on there. And then there's like a pre-demo I did before any of that stuff, which has some rough stuff on there. This feels like something from the Thank You EP. This is like super dark and like, cool. But like no,
sorry.
It's like dark in like
it.
a really like teenage way. It is. This is like very like toxic. I'm a terrible person, and I'm using self-awareness as a mating call, and this sucks. Like, I hate this guy, but apparently at a certain point, my brain was just like, hey, you haven't written one of these in like 5 years, so you want to get that out there. This is like 2/3 of a song. I think this needs to go somewhere. It might even be the second 2/3 of a song. There might be like a beginning bit to this, and then it goes into this. Maybe it's the middle section of like a Jesus of Suburbia. Who knows?
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
This is a song called The Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
All right, we're gonna hit go in 3, 2, 1, go.
From the least of them, the ones you might not even notice. Bed bugs scattering for cover when the light goes on. I just react. It isn't evidence of sentience or anything like that. Misery got shut up inside a castle, overweight and under sentimental. Manic phases, chronic depression. What a shame, but no one will ever miss him. What a shame, but no one will ever miss him. I listed all my flaws in order so you'd know what to expect. The ones that chafe your soul until the day your perfect patience starts to crack. I am a rock. I am an island. I am the great Pacific garbage patch. Forget about forgetting your birthday. I won't remember your first name. Constantly expecting the worst, so I can say that I saw it coming. Misery got shut up inside a castle, overweight and under sentimental. Manic phases, chronic depression. What a shame that no one will ever miss him.
Over.
Cool. Cool, Matt. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's got its moments.
Yeah, I think you're dead on with just kind of the genre description of it and kind of what it is. But it's a good version of that. It does sound like taking that Taking Back Sunday kind of vibe from 2004.
Yeah, I think it feels to me as a dyed in the wool OG Dashboard Confessional fan. This feels like it's got some sort of front bottomsy esque like modern emo stuff in there as well. I really don't like, if I was going to change one line, and I didn't have time to, but I don't like manic phases, chronic depression. I feel like that's so, it's really interesting because I went into this song having just had an internal monologue about how annoying I find it when people have the words anxiety and depression in songs, because I'm like, hey, we did that for 5 years, okay? Like, there's nothing else, there's nothing exciting about just saying that anymore. And then I went into this and my brain was like, fuck you. So I really like interpolating I am a rock, I'm an island, I'm the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in there.
That was good. Yeah, you should repeat that.
Okay.
Got it.
No, I think there should be I am a rock, I am an island, da 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 da. I am the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. There should be like, it should build up momentum a little bit. Yeah. But I think there's maybe like 15-20% of people out there who'll be like, this bangs, and that is okay.
The start of it, like the rhythm and the sounds that you're doing in it is very cool. It's very unique. It's not something that like I was expecting to hear when I turned it on.
You mean the
yeah, that exactly like that.
Yeah, the way I did that is I just went over to the piano behind me and just recorded on my phone, just me playing things really fast in the key of G, and then just sort of chopped it up a little bit and created a little loop, and then was like, cool, done, fine. This is the kind of thing I can imagine coming back to. There's a couple of lyrics I'd want to change, but there's enough in there that this is wall puncher music. Like there's fist holes in the drywall fucking music. I don't like that. But if I could change it slightly and get it away from there's fist holes in the drywall, then it could be something good.
Here's the thing. I liked this line, even though I know it's the worst. The forget about forgetting your birthday. I won't remember your first name. Constantly expecting the worst, so I could say I saw it coming. It's just the worst. It's the worst attitude. It's the worst like guy. But I love that line. Like, I don't know. Like that's the kind of music that we grew up listening to, and it was angsty for no reason, and it was like so aggressive and like.
As usual, I wrote that line. I was like, Bug'll like that line. I think there's probably a way. I mean, if I'm being honest, what is my shtick? My shtick would just be verse, chorus, stop, 7-minute spoken word monologue about why it sucks to be this guy.
No, it's funny because I got this feedback a lot on when I first started playing a song called "The Key to Being Lonely," which is off of "Torn Between a Couple," that is describing somebody going through their life in a non-productive way, falling in love with everybody that they see, and despite the song being called "The Key to Being Lonely" and saying all of these things that I have just listed, is the key to being lonely, I still caught shit from some people being like, this makes you sound like a real jerk. I was like, okay, sure.
It's the same reason as like, if you make Joker, even though you're like, he's a bad guy, people are going to be like, but he's the protagonist and therefore the hero.
I'm of the opinion that I love lines like this, and I love songs like this, and can also recognize that like this is not a good thing that good people do, right?
Yeah, but also it doesn't say anything new. It doesn't add anything to the discourse of why songs like this exist, and I feel like that is probably where I would take it in the third part.
Yeah, that's just a really, really high bar, I think, for.
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Give me another. What have I got on this timer? Give me another 2 minutes.
Yeah. Pull out that 7-minute monologue somehow.
Yeah, I feel like there is more that can be done with this that actually is some sort of commentary, is some sort of character development. So we got a couple of songs out of this. Yeah. Thank you so much for. I mean, thank you so much for coming out to see us on the first leg of a 3-leg tour. Everybody who came to the West Coast and sort of into the Midwest, however far into the Midwest we drifted, every show was incredible. Yeah. Every show was great. Sometimes we turned up to a venue and we were like, oh, I don't know. And yet every single time the audience were like, yeah. And we were like, yeah. There were green room dogs. There were bullet holes in security doors. Should we tell that story?
I don't. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell the story as I remember it, and I don't want you to correct me. So we turn up, we turn up to the show in Albuquerque, and we drive into this alley. We actually drive through the alley, and then we drive back around because we don't know where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
And there's these guys hanging out. They're all packing heat. They all have pistols, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And we're like, "We're the band," and they go, "Oh, okay, right." Yeah, okay. We usually have 5 security guys, but we're down a security guy because there was a shootout in the alleyway the other night. There's bullet holes in the door. There was bullet holes in the door, and they're like, you might not want to park here. Things get kind of... And then all of our phones, their phones, all go pew, pew, pew. Emergency, risk to life. There's a flood in your area. You need to get out of the area. So we drive into the mountains, and we're like, should we go back to that venue?
I love that. Hold on. You said don't correct you. I love that driving to the mountains, we went up like about a 10-foot incline and parked like next to a McDonald's.
Yeah, a New Mexico mountain. We went, we ended up going back, and like those guys were clearly used to putting on shows where there was a higher risk of violence, and then everyone was just like, I'm here for the Bug Hunter and Narcissist Cookbook show, please. And
they weren't expecting us, I think.
No one ever expects us. The show, every show was incredible.
Yeah, so if you want to come see us this summer, we're not doing a Jam Mechanics tour, but we are doing a Narcissist Cookbook Bug Hunter tour, and sometimes we play Jam Mechanics things, but we don't promise it. We're going to be in D.C. and New York and Boston and Chicago, and as far west as like Dallas and Kansas City, and as far north as like Minneapolis, and as far south as Austin and Orlando. So if you are anywhere in that box, you can go get tickets on www.bughunterbug.com. We have emails, tnc@jammechanics.com, bug@jammechanics.com. If you want to reach both of us at the same time, hello@jammechanics.com.
Yeah, and if you want to email Joe Biden, you can
Joe Biden at jammechanics.com.
I'm going to tell people that I want to. It's time for, because I've stopped doing the joke now because it feels like making fun of a vulnerable person. But whenever I upload things to the Jam Mechanics for the Dropbox files, it asks for a name and an email, and I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this. So I just got into the habit of writing Joe at whitehouse.gov, and I know that there isn't going to be a Joe at whitehouse.gov, but it will be going into somebody's inbox. You know.
Yes.
Someone at the White House is getting updates about Jam Mechanics.
And just so y'all know, I have to rename every file Matt uploads to remove the Joe Biden tag at the end of it because it appends it automatically. So if you've ever downloaded anything from our website and it said Joe Biden on it, I'm sorry that I missed it. It was an accident.
So we will. You'll hear from us again in 2 weeks. Join us on social media, join us in the Discord. We love you. And I remembered this time that it's my turn to play a song. So I've already picked up my guitar.
Play us out.
If it's dark, you gotta open the curtains and let the light in. If you're listening to Jam Mechanics, then your name might be Joe Biden. Hey!
They always told me I was peaking too early. Your lack of buddies is a little concerning. You heard the rumors, now I'm hearing confirming. I made a friend in my 30s.